I spoke with Oklahoma City guard Hamidou Diallo about his plan for tomorrow night's dunk contest, and he said he hasn't even practiced the dunks that he's come up with yet. I talked with John Collins tonight after the Rising Stars Challenge, and he said he's been practicing, and he plans to practice once again tomorrow morning. Have you practiced any of them? Because Diallo said he hasn't practiced those.
Well, I have had some time to practice.
What about your life? Where do you think your life would be if you didn't have public courses? We talked about Fort Belvoir. We talked about all these, this place. Where do you think your life would be without a place that you could have gone to play?
Nowhere.
The 6 judges will be grading them in 6 categories: taste, presentation, spice, color, texture, and garnish. A year's worth of work will come down to their 6-minute presentation to determine who has the best Bloody Mary in the Midwest. In Charlotte, any mention of verses usually refers to scripture rather than lyrics. So how will this quaint southern city transform into the epicenter of the hip-hop universe by Sunday? All-Star Weekend. Let's hit the streets and find out how much these fans know about basketball and bars. Tip those that help around your house or apartment this holiday season. Garbage men, handyman, and doormen here like Josh should receive anywhere from $20 to $100 based on your relationship. Isn't that right, Josh?
Yep, that's right.
Does nobody appreciate a aesthetically pleasing defensive performance anymore?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Based on Twitter, no.
All right, okay. You guys are like 97 kids probably. I think it's safe to say that there's no better way for an athlete to call it quits than by going out on top. You saw Ray Lewis do it, Peyton Manning, Papa John's. But at 41 years old, there's been a lot of talk about Tom Brady retiring this season. And speaking of trades, boy, was it an awkward night last night in Chicago as we picked things up. Julius Randle knows something about trade deadlines and stress. He gets 2 on the inside and then the corner 3. Nice pass from Drew Holiday. He'll knock that one down. Look at the big man stepping back saying, please don't send me away. I like it here in New Orleans. The Pelicans go on to win 125 to 120. And as I mentioned, as you saw Jabari Parker warming up before the game, he was shipped off. He left the arena in street clothes, Drake. As we look at this trade, he'll be going to D.C. The hometown kid did not last long. They get Bobby Portis also, and Otto Porter Jr. has 3 years left on a 4-year, $106 million deal. We'll see how that works out.
As you said, I mean, of course, for the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, will be great for
He's
the
not
Wizards.
coming there. Stop talking about it. We begin in the nation's capital with breaking news, as both Senate proposals to end the government shutdown have failed. The dueling bills would have temporarily reopened the government until February 8th. As lawmakers failed to put a halt to the 34-day impasse, majority leaders have at least come to an agreement on one thing. After weeks of public back and forth with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, President Donald Trump has agreed to postpone his State of the Union address until after the government shutdown has ended. Danielle going to UVA and being outspoken about, hey, there's other ways to do this thing than just the convention, turn pro at 15, expensive academy, blah, 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 blah. That's all great, but we have to ask ourselves, why is this such a big story? Why is she a big story? And that is because as great as Serena has been, the seeds of her dominance has not yet produced a generation that has caught up to the bar that she's set. Let's compare her to Tiger for a second. What do you see right now? We are witnessing right now the generation that Tiger birthed. The Spieths, the Rorys, the DJ, the Ricky Fowlers, the J-Days, and a lot of the Koepkas, and a lot of those I just mentioned are Americans. Where is the generation that Serena birthed?
I am.
Not
You are?
really.
You are now? Well, you might have heard Maroon 5, along with Travis Scott, and potentially others, will take the stage at halftime of Super Bowl 53 on Sunday, but not without some controversy. As previously reported, multiple high-profile acts turned down the gig in support of quarterback Colin Kaepernick, who remains unsigned. Commissioner Roger Goodell took the podium on Tuesday at Super Bowl Media Day and addressed the situation for the first time. Here's what he had to say. This is one of the most dominant teams probably in any sport, maybe in any division in the DMV. Coach, when did you know you had a special group?
We kind of looked at each other after tryouts.
We're going to get another Angelus. When you're right-handed, Brandon, and you go left-handed, you know what that makes you?
What does that make?
Amphibious. And Angelus amphibious again, and here comes Fisher. Just won't stop. The little Derek Jeter, did you see that move?
Ohio State
Jordan
right there.
Yeah, he is. Big 10, and another big save. Look at Stonewall Luke. We need more goalie highlights, and then Grayson Ergenbright's going to go 5-hole on the hop here. Jamal Green is a normal 23-year-old,
How you doing, Miss Jamal Green?
except he's running for mayor.
I want to use my gifts, whether it be creative policies or speaking or bringing people together to take over Fifth Floor and make this city the best city that it can be.
Green burst onto the scene when he was only 15, emerging as a leader of the Black Lives Matter movement before serving as Bernie Sanders' surrogate on his 2016 presidential campaign.
I didn't design for myself to be on the front lines, but everything that I've done as far as building my own company, as far as speaking, as far as having the knowledge of what's going on in communities and how to solve it, people push me to the front.
Born and raised in Inglewood, he says his experience growing up in the South Side makes him the perfect candidate to run Chicago.
We need somebody for us, man.
I've seen people being shot. I understand gangs, right? I understand drugs. I understand what's going on in these communities because I've seen it firsthand. And so it's easier for me to be in position of power to come right back into those communities and give the communities what they need and give the people what they need and alternatives to what they're doing.
It was here in 2016 where Green was arrested while protesting police shootings. Authorities allege he struck an officer and attempted to disarm another. Those charges were later dropped. However, Green pled guilty to resisting arrest.
Many people know that I have a great relationship with police officers all across the city, even the head police officer, Eddie Johnson, okay? And I have many police officers that donate to my campaign. And people don't even know this. But that perception is wrong. I've always been against bad police officers, those who would shoot someone 16 times but wouldn't even shoot an animal 16 times.
Green says the old way of politics are over. So what does the new way look like?
That format is dead. I mean, it looks like us now. Because, one, your average person spends 4.5 hours per day just on social media. It moves faster. The eye wants visual yumminess.
It's about politicians who are progressive, think different, and care about the best needs of all residents, most importantly, those who are on the ground, the poor and middle and working class.
I appreciate it and happy voting.
So what does a 23-year-old who spends 14 hours a day on the campaign trail do for fun?
What I do for fun, my life is fun.
For Medill Reports, I'm Casey Bannon.
My name is Andrew Stopera. I'm a student at Northwestern, and I'm a member of the U.S. national curling team.
When people talk about Northwestern's best student athletes, there's a reason Andrew Stopera's name isn't mentioned. It's because he isn't wearing the purple and white. Instead, he's wearing red, white, and blue.
I don't think that many people realize. I mean, it's different because I'm not wearing the Northwestern stuff, so nobody, it's hard to pick me out of a crowd wearing jeans and a t-shirt and all that stuff. So I'm definitely more of a low-key guy. Like, I'm not gonna go out there and be like I'm, good at curling and stuff like that.
However, people should start to take notice. Stopera is coming off a monster 2017, which included winning his second consecutive U.S. Junior National Championship, a fourth-place finish at the Junior World Championship, and Team Stopera being named USA Curling Team of the Year.
I think it's like any other sport. It's a lot of hard work. It's hours and days spent at the ice for years and years and years, and it's continued success on the national level and the world level, which we've tried to show, my team and myself have tried to show over the last few years, and to be recognized as one of the best athletes in the United States is special.
Originally from Briarcliff Manor, New York, Stopera's ascent in the sport is not surprising, given his family lineage.
My grandfather curled, my grandparents curled really, and then it was passed down to my dad, and he got me on the ice at an early age, at probably 7 or 8, so it's really generational, and my dad's played competitively, so it was only natural for me to get into the sport in that way.
Not only did he play competitively, Andrew's father Bill was a champion in his own right, winning the men's U.S. National Championship in 2012, the same year his son made it to his first junior national.
I think in 2012, when my dad won the national championship, I saw him practicing every day and going out on the ice and getting in the gym to get better, and when he actually won, I realized I kind of saw what it took to get where he was, and I realized that if I put in the same effort that I could get to similar places that he did.
I think curling has been great for our relationship. Really has allowed us, when he comes home, we're able to practice, spend a lot of time together. Not sure a lot of fathers out there have that opportunity with their son once they get out into college.
My dad's been an unbelievable part. Like, he's the reason why I am where I am today. I started really trying to be a competitive curler my sophomore year of high school. So, almost 7 years ago at this point. And every single day I would go to the club and practice, and he would be there with me.
Despite curling not being sanctioned by the NCAA, Stepera said finding a school that allowed him to chase his dreams led him to Evanston.
So when I was first looking at schools, I was trying to find a place where I still could curl and obviously go to school. So there is not a ton of places where there's a curling club within 25 minutes, something you could drive to and practice 6-7 times a week. Being a student athlete has been more difficult just without the NCAA recognition from the academic department and teachers. So I've had teachers who are able to work with me and manage my classes and deal with my absences and any help I need.
For now, balancing practice, economics homework, and an international travel schedule is just part of his short-term plan.
So it's tough, and there's probably been moments where I'm thinking to myself, like, I have so much on my plate right now, what am I doing? But I don't think I've really ever had an instance where I was even close to, quitting the sport.
As far as long-term plans, well, that depends on which podium he ends up on.
I think like any other curler who's playing competitively is go to the Olympics, win the Olympic trials and have success there. And it's hard to think about right now because it's 3 years away, but everything that we've been doing leading up to now and the next 3 years is really planned around getting to the Olympic trials, winning the Olympic trials, and having success at the Olympics.
In Evanston, for Medill Reports, I'm Casey Bannon.